Halo, Halo, it's Diva, UNA, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I am yours truly, Diva, representing the UNA University and UNARepublic. Halo. Let me see my people in YouTube in here. Yes. UNA. Yeah, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is UNA Beginner Law Book, all right? In here, once again, all of the laws, UNA, the hierarchy of laws of maxim are in here, vibratory frequency chart. I told you about the laws of maxim, all 300 and some odd, 334 of them. All kind of great information in here. And we also let you know that come with the hierarchy of law chart, which is already in the book as well. I made a copy of the universal law. I want to make that right side up. And the vibratory frequency chart. All right. So y'all not seeing this well. I don't know what is going on with the light in TikTok or YouTube. All right. But I want y'all to know that the books are in. All right. These are going out this week. So thank you all for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your patience. I am yours truly, D. Valerie, with UNA University. Now, I also want y'all to know we got a seminar coming up. All right. Go to UNA University and get enrolled. Go to UNA University and get enrolled. When you go to and you click on that link in the bio, there is a link tree. Now, some of y'all are using Mac products, and Macs be tripping. Your iPhone, your Mac computers, they be tripping when it comes to clicking on those links. So if you have any problems, try a different web browser. But the links, some of y'all are trying to get the book. We got a gift and from our vendor, so we do have some extras. So you all want to go ahead, if you haven't gotten them, if you haven't gotten your book, the beginner law book, the UNA beginner law book. Okay, so you can find the link in the bio, or you can go to unauniversity.com and get that link. All right, so if you want that physical copy of the book, all right. So I told you all we have the books are in, and this is the physical copy. All right, and the ebook is $19.99. If you want the physical copy, is $29.99 for now, and it's gonna go up. Okay, all right. So now go to unauniversity.com and get that. Let's see who else is in the house. Thank you all for joining. I'm ready to go into it tonight. I'm going into some history, precious photography. Yes. Thank you for joining. Thank you all for liking, sharing. Thank you for following in YouTube. Thank you for following. Let's get into it. What are we talking about today? We're talking history. What you want to know? History. What you want to know? All right. So I'm let me see where I can start, because I just love going into history. And I went into a while back, a couple of sessions ago, I went into the Anunnaki. I really enjoy talking about the Anunnaki because I like to compare the Bible with, some of the left out books, which is the book of Jasher, one of my favorites. Compare the Bible with the ancient scriptures, and then the left out books. It's really it's fun for me. I love this history stuff. So I do want to know what you all want to talk about. So please, Halo Precious Photography, please let me know if there's something in specific or particular dealing with history that you want to discuss. Now, I'm smiling a little bit because I had a light-skinned being, Caucasian, that y'all know of as Caucasian, Albion, who approached me, and he was upset about some of the information that I was giving out about what my research shows about the Albion. So I talked about how the Albion was grafted from the melanated people. And there's this myth out that, oh, Albions came about because they went into some colder climates and they lost their pit. That's not how that works. And science clearly shows what light skin is and where it came about. And the fact that these people, light-skinned people, Albions, come from your melanated people. They are our children, if you will. Melanated, they are children to the melanated people. So you've got, when I speak about that, you know, he was upset. No, we don't. We didn't come like that. And so it's always, when I do these sessions, I have to laugh and I say to you guys, you're not supposed to believe what I say. Not one word you're not supposed to believe what I say. When I give you the information, go look it up. Instead of knee-jerking or being upset about it because of how it might not sit well with you, just go look it up. Nobody on this channel, not UNARepublic, UNA America, we not here to diss anybody. Y'all are family. We all one. We understand that because that's universal law. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. We know that we are all one. So, but we've got to give out the facts so that we are not repeating our mistakes in the past. Because those who are joining us here, they know that we are ethereal beings, that we've always been here, always will be. All right, we have lived many, many lifetimes, and we're going to live many, many lifetimes after. So we know who we are. So we're not here to diss anybody or disrespect anybody. The whole purpose is to tell the facts so that we can find the truth and not continue to repeat the mistakes that we've repeated over and over again in the past. All right, so y'all, I need y'all to know that. Now, with that being said, if there's something specific that you want me to go into dealing with history, I'd love it. I just talked about how I talked about the Anunnaki and why I really love that story. The last time I was on, I spoke about the Anunnaki. I spoke about why Noah was so preferred by the Anunnaki and why Enki. So let me say this when it comes to the Bible. When it comes to the Bible, what you have to recognize is that the book has been changed around. So there are scriptures that were around long before the Bible came into play in 325 AD. There are scriptures that were around long before that. And those scriptures were written by sibyls and oracles. So when you say the Bible is just a canon of those scriptures that were written by women. Now, these weren't no light-skinned women, because at this time, the Albion didn't even exist. These were melanated women. These were women who had all the power and the wealth and the knowledge. Oh, that's another topic that people get upset about when I start talking about that this entire planet was originally a matriarchal planet, meaning the woman ruled everything. And if we understand, and I love my brothers who do their own research, because some people, this is another thing, just like the Albion got butthurt when I talked about where the Albion comes from. Men get butthurt when I talk about who they were and how they came into being and what their true purpose was. So I don't want you to get butthurt, okay? Just go and do the research. And you got to be mature, because there's some people, men, who you cannot talk to about this. They have a hatred in themselves for whatever reason. I'm not going to get into it, but we got to be mature and see what the facts are. And then women get upset when I tell the truth about what they did. Look, I told y'all this history is not pretty. for anybody, not the Albion, not the woman, not the man, not the melanated man, not melanated folks. It's not pretty because we all did some dirt. That's why we're here. We got lessons to learn here. All right. I hope y'all following me, and I hope you all are understanding what I'm saying. All right. So now I want y'all to put in the, before I get into this, I'm actually waiting on you all to tell me what you want me to get into, because I'm going to go into it, and we're going to have some fun tonight because I got time today. I got time. Well, I got a little bit of time because I'm hungry and I'm ready to go eat. But I just got out of class, and I had a session. But we do have a continuing education seminar. It's called "How to Keep Your Job from Taking Taxes from Your Wages." You're going to learn the facts about law. Okay, you're going to learn the facts about what your rights are, because we've been told, well, you don't have the right to do this, and this is law, the taxes is the law, and then we're going to learn what the truth is about what our rights are. Okay, so that's what that is, how to keep your job from taking taxes from your wages. That's $59.99. You need to enroll in that class because, here's the deal. First of all, the seminar is off the chain because of the simple fact that when those of you who are walking your sovereignty, you have access to somebody who can help you finish the process and help you get answers to the questions that you're going to have. You're going to have some questions. You are going to have some questions. So what we're able to do when you're in the seminar, it helps you to get access to somebody who can answer the questions, answer those tough questions, so that when you're on this journey, you don't have your paperwork. You're like, I'm ready to go. And then something comes up and you're like, well, I don't know the answer to that. All right, well, let me put that down. And then a week goes by, a month goes by, 2 months go by, a half a year, a whole year, 2 years, 3 years, and you still haven't taken the steps you need to take so that you can get your sovereignty in order. Because you don't have access to somebody who can help you walk through it the way that we do in the university, okay? Now, but what we do have coming up is this session here, $59.99. How to keep your job from taking taxes from your check. All right? 1 day, 2 night class. It's a 1 day, 2 night class. You want to get into that. Okay, $59.99. $59.99. Y'all know how much the university is. We don't be playing, because it's worth more than that. So if you know how much the university is, and you know this is only $59.99, you know that this is a great deal. You want to be involved. All right. Now, history. Y'all gonna tell me what y'all want to talk about in history? Anybody? Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing. Tell me what you want me to talk about concerning history, because I want to go into it. All right. I really do. I want to do something on the Anunnaki, because sovereignty is free. Yes, it is free, but let me say this. Thank you. Who is that? April. Thank you, April. And if you want to come on, I'd love to have this conversation with you. Let me say something to you, April. Nothing is free. Let me be clear on that, because you think that, oh, it's free, all I got to do is go over here and read this and read that. You don't understand that you just paid attention. You paid attention. Every time you got to spend hours on whatever your research is, you've got to spend time and days on getting it wrapped around your mind and making this knowledge become a part of you. You have paid. See, you think payment only comes with Federal Reserve notes or giving somebody a dollar bill. No, ma'am. The most important payment is your energy. Are you putting out energy to gain this knowledge that you're seeking? You're going to pay. Whether you pay with Federal Reserve notes, or you pay with your hard sweat, blood, and tears, or you pay attention. Or you pay attention. You're going to pay. Nothing is free. Nothing is free. So if somebody tells you, you go to school and let's say you get a scholarship and you didn't pay, let me tell you something. Even if you get a scholarship, you're going to give somebody a social security number. You're going to give them a social security number. Right there you have paid, because there's an estate that they're going to tap into and get those funds from your social security number. But let's say you don't even give them a social security number. If you go to that school, you've got to sit down and apply yourself. You've got to pay attention in class. Otherwise, you're not going to get the degree. You got to pay. Nothing is free. Nothing. So I hope y'all understand this. Thank you, April, for your comment. But nothing is free. Nothing. Even if you get something from somebody and you didn't have to pay Federal Reserve notes, you didn't just get it by happenstance. You paid out some energy. See, a lot of people don't understand when things come to you, that's an energy. That's an energy. You don't get people doing kind things for you unless you did kind things for somebody else. You paid for it. You pay. You know how you hear people say, I'm going to pay it down, I'm going to pay it forward, I'm going to pay it on down the line. What that means is when I do a good deed now, I know that in the future, I'm going to get a good deed done for me. I'm paying it forward. You're going to pay. So if somebody gives you something today, it's not just because, it's just happenstance. They just gave me something just because. No, they gave it to you because you put out an energy to deserve it. Otherwise, the universe is not going to allow you to have it. If you didn't put out an energy to deserve it, the universe is not going to allow you to have it. That's how the law works. So for those of you all who don't know, we're talking about law. That's what we deal with here. UNA University, we deal in law. All laws, universal laws, natural law, maxims of law. We deal in treaties, constitutions, federal codes. We deal in law. All right. And once again, if y'all have any, I want to know if you want me to go into some history. All right. So I was talking about before somebody put that nice message up about how free things are when there's nothing that is free. I was going into the Anunnaki. All right. And before I go into the Anunnaki, because I want to get back on this comment somebody made in the comment section about everything being free. Let me say this too. Now, you can get this information on your own. And again, I go back to how I have people who have come into the university and they've been at this game for 5 and 10 years and still haven't done the basic thing they need to do to protect themselves when it comes to walking in this matrix. And that is because, again, if you don't have somebody there to help you and guide you, your path is going to take more time. Yeah, you don't pay Federal Reserve notes for it, but you're going to pay a lot of time. You're going to pay some years. So what we do at the university is we help to shorten that time. We want to make sure we're there for you so that when you have questions, when you need answers, then we can give it to you. Now, the other thing that I get, which is unfortunate, I know we're seeking our freedom or what have you, and some people think that you're supposed to get this for free. Now, the sad part about it is you all paid to be in bondage. You paid somebody a lot of money to put you in bondage. When you paid to go to college, or some of y'all paid, your parents paid for private school, you paid to be in bondage. And now when you want to get free, you think that's supposed to be free. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Because of the simple fact that, once again, you're going to pay for everything. Whether you're paying attention, or you're paying with blood, sweat, and tears, or you are simply paying with Federal Reserve notes, you're going to pay. It doesn't matter if you on this macroscopic level rather, or this level or microscopic level, all entities pay. All entities pay to get things done. I'm laughing because some people are not aware that in every cell in your body, there is a government working just like what you see in this third dimension world. In every cell in your body, every cell, the same thing you see going on out here in this third dimension, it's going on in every cell in your body. You know, you've heard the term, as is within, so is without. What you see out here is going on within. So get this understanding. Every entity in your cell, they're working like this system. And trust me, they pay the ATP, the mitochondria. If y'all don't know mitochondria, I encourage you to look that up. I'm not going into unless y'all want me to go into mitochondria, I'll go into it because I love talking about the mitochondria, and I just might do it because I'm feeling it right now. So when you understand how the mitochondria works, that is the one who creates ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Don't nothing move on this planet without ATP. And anybody within your cells, when I say body, any beings, these beings within your cells that are working, if they want to do something, they got to pay somebody ATP to get it done. So trust me, you're going to pay. If you don't pay me, you're going to pay some kind of way. So get that in your mind. Some don't, some have it, some don't. So thank you, Jerry. Jerry says, preach that power. Some have it, some don't. Yes, some don't have the power because they don't know how to tap into this. This is where the power is right here. This is where the money is. And some people don't tap into it because they believe that everything is supposed to be free. Because they have a mindset of, oh, this is scarcity. We don't have it. I can't get it. It's not going to happen. It's too far. It's too beyond my means. When you start believing like that, and when you're saying things like that, then you're creating a law. I told you we deal in law. Every time you open your mouth, you're creating a law. Every time you write anything down, you're creating a law. As a matter of fact, anytime you think something, you are creating a law. So then one of the things that we deal with in UNA is getting your manifesting powers up. What are you manifesting? It starts with what you think. It goes on with what you say, because some people say some really some things and they're not even recognizing that they are creating their own hell. Well, when you start learning how to speak what you desire, and you are very careful and direct with every word that comes out of your mouth, every syllable, when you're very direct and careful with it, then you're going to start manifesting your third dimension to look like what you want it to look like. And then as soon as that happens, then you won't be saying things like, well, I ain't got to pay for it. Well, you just, all right, you're going to pay for it. Your thought is payment. All right. Thank y'all for joining. All right, so now, getting back to history. History. I told y'all I went on about the Anunnaki. You are what you eat is food for thought. Yes, thank you, Larry. You are what you eat. What are you eating? All right. That's very important. I don't want to get into food tonight. Anunnaki. I keep trying to go back. I'm supposed to be doing history, but I'm really here on a open session, and I want to make sure you all know that the seminar coming up, if you weren't able to get into the university this season, I encourage you to join that seminar. It is only $69.99. $69.99. Laura says, can you go in on about the big head scientists? I'm drinking beer. All right, Ronnie. You know there's spirits in that beer. Mineral spirits. And some of them are not that kind. But thank you. Lawrence says going in on the big head scientist. Okay, so let's go in on the big head scientist. Who is the big head scientist? Yakub is what his name was known to be. Now, some people will equate or say that Yakub and Jacob are the same. All right, because Jacob, if you would look in the Bible, was he had sheep. He was a shepherd, and Jacob would find a way to manipulate the genes within his sheep, whereby he'd say, okay, this one's got white fur and those got brown or black fur, and I'm trying to get more sheep with white fur. He found a way to manipulate the genes. And this is one of the things that Yakub, the big head scientist, is known for doing. They say Yakub is the one that created the light-skinned being. Okay? And it's funny when we're talking about Yakub, there's a book, I don't know if you've heard of it, Black Root Science, and he talks about how Yakub is the inventor of the light-skinned people, and in it there's the term Yahweh comes from Yababoihu or something to that effect, Yababoihu, and because the light-skinned people couldn't pronounce that name, it was reduced to Yahweh. So I'm just going over some things, and I thank you for bringing this topic up. So, at any rate, Yakub, the big head scientist, again, is the one who's accredited with creating your light-skinned race, or your so-called white people, but they're not white, but they're Albions is what I'll call them. All right, so I'm going to go into the story of Yakub and why this came about. Yakub supposedly was very, very intelligent. He had a really big head. I don't know if y'all have ever seen babies with a big head. They tend to be really intelligent. But Yakub was one of those babies. He had a big head. And there was an issue between him and some kind of way. He felt like he was left out of the family, and he had this issue with his family. All right, this is what the story is saying. He had issues with his family. He was like, oh, y'all left me. Y'all don't show me no love. I don't love y'all either. And then he wanted to create a lighter skinned race, according to this story. So Yakub set out to find a way to manipulate, because and listen, there's an equation, there's some kind of way, an equation of Yakub with the Anunnaki as well, because the Anunnaki were very good at manipulating genes and gene splicing and all that. That's what they did. That's how they created the human vessel, according to the ancient scripture. All right, but getting back to it, Yakub had some of this knowledge and this intelligence, and he wanted to create a lighter skinned race. Now, when he was doing this, according to the story that I know, Yakub was causing an issue with the so-called government, and they wanted him to stop doing this. They wanted him to not be manipulating folks' genes and all that. So Yakub kept going on and doing what he was doing, but he finally made some kind of deal where he said, okay, well, look, I'm going to take my people, and we're going to get on the boat, and we're going to, go on the boat and do what we do. And on this boat is when he got more into creating these lighter skinned races by a grafting process, whereby he'd find a way to suppress the melanin or the carbon in the cell, which would cause the being to be light skinned. Now, one of the things about this gene splicing that I'm going to go into with the Anunnaki, most of us know that the original beings on the planet had melanin or carbon. They were carbonated beings. And one of the things about these Anunnaki or these other beings that created supposedly the human vessel is that once they created a human vessel, they could not splice it with other animals. These beings that came to this planet, wherever they came from, however they got here, all right, they like to splice beings, other beings. So, you know, when you're looking at most of the animals that you know, these are all hybrid beings. The lions, tigers, bears, apes, chickens, horses, donkeys, especially donkeys, you name it, pigs. All of these beings, they're hybrid beings, whereby they've taken this animal and spliced it with this animal and put it together. And that's what they like to do. So they start trying to do that with the human. And these carbonated humans, they could not splice them together. Because of the DNA and the structure and all of that, they couldn't do it. But what they found is when they phased out the melanin or the carbon in the genes, and now they can start splicing them. Hold on for 1 second. Right? He was up in the Caucasus Mountains. That's where you going. What are you talking about, Lawrence? Who was in the Caucasus Mountains? All right, pen and paper. I'm writing it down. All right. Right, that's where I heard. What is it that you heard, Lawrence? And I see Lawrence is following. All right, Lawrence, what did you hear? So I can make sure we're on the same page. And for those of y'all who thank you for your comments and keeping them kind. If you have any questions or comments, keep them kind and let's answer them. Mitch, what's going on? Thank you for joining. All right, so now getting back on this. So this is according to my research and according to the story that my friend asked about, which is the Yakub, the big head scientist. All right. So Yakub, once they were on the ship. And again, according to what the story says, Yakub had found a way to manipulate the cells or the gene and phase out the carbon in the cells. And this is what Yakub is known for, phasing out the carbon and creating the so-called the light-skinned race. All right. And so then he's also now. There's some of the research that I've seen rather, where Yakub had something to do with some of the scriptures. Maybe not the Bible itself, but some of the scriptures. And then I have people saying, no, he was one of the creators of the Bible to confuse people. So I'm just letting you know that the Yakub character is known for that whole creation of the white people. And going back to the Bible, again, Yababwehu is supposedly the original term. Yababwehu means creator of the white people or the light-skinned race. That's what it means. It means creator of the light-skinned race. And that was Yakub. Because they couldn't pronounce Yababwehu, it was shortened to Yahweh. And that person who they were referring to would have been Yakub because he was their creator. Pretty much, and isn't that the same way as the Anunnaki who created the humans? Supposedly, when we go back to the Sumerian civilization, and they worshipped the Anunnaki because they knew the Anunnaki were the ones that had created them. Well, here you got Yakub, the same character who they're saying who was the one known as the creator of the white race, Yababwehu. Well, they would tell you that was Yakub when you do any research on it. All right. RNA versus DNA. Thank you, Larry. All right. RNA versus DNA. So, will you test me? Is this a test, Larry? I'm gonna pass it. I'm gonna pass this test. All right. So, as a matter of fact, I got visual aids. You don't know who you're talking to. All right. Let's talk about it. DNA. When we're talking about DNA, it is a long strand of information. I need y'all to understand that DNA is a contract. And I'm going to say it like that because that's exactly what it is. DNA is a contract. It is a contract where it says, okay, this one's going to have this color skin, and then they're going to have this kind of hair, and then they're going to have 2 eyes, 2 holes in their nose, they're going to have 2 legs, 2 arms. That's what this DNA strand does. All right, this long DNA strand is the full contract. That's what it is. Now, RNA is a snippet of that full contract that goes to a particular party. Now, I'm going back to what I was just talking to you about with that sister when she was like, oh, you got to pay for everything. Listen up. I told y'all that there are beings working in your body, just like in this, what you see out here. There's a government going on. And so what happens is there is the full contract, which is the DNA that covers your whole body. However, when the heart, for example, if the heart needs a particular thing coming from your system, then the heart is going to say, all right, there's going to be an RNA. It's going to be a smaller portion of it that goes to the heart so that the heart can get what it needs. There's going to be another RNA that's going to go to the toe so the toe can get what it needs. There's going to be another RNA that's going to go to your brain so your brain can get what it needs. So there's the full contract, but there are sections of it that go to different parts of your body so that the people, the beings that are doing the work for your heart, for your brain, for your toe, for your elbow, they get different pieces of that long contract. That's like what you would say is RNA. Now, let's go on this. Hold on for a second. So I have to break it down like that so that it's clear when we're talking about DNA and RNA. Because I want to give you the technical term. And I can't show you my visual aids. So, just so we can be clear. So what the name, by the way, RNA, ribonucleic acid. All right, it's a contract. It's still a contract. Its principal role is to act as a messenger carrying instructions from DNA. That's what I just told you. It's carrying messages from DNA. So again, you got the full contract, but this part of the body might need this snippet. So it's going to carry this information to that part of the body so it has the proper instructions. Every part of the body needs a different part of this. It's like you had a job. On your job, again, it's a contract. Y'all don't understand how everything in your body is working like what you see out here. On your job, you got this manual. What they call that, the operating manual. All right. Depending on what job you're doing at that company is going to determine what part of that manual you need to specify or be specific about. All right, if you're over here working heavy machinery, then you need to be here in the heavy machinery section. That's going to be your RNA, and that's what you need to look at so you can make sure you operate this machine properly so that it doesn't malfunction. All right, if you are over here in the copy center, then you need this part of the contract, the standard operating manual, so that you can make sure the copier is doing what it needs to do. Depending on what your job is in that company is what part of the standard operating manual that you need. It's the same thing with the DNA. All right. Depending on what part of the body that the RNA has to communicate with. That's going to depend on what part of that DNA cell that it taps into and takes the information to that part of the body. I hope I broke that down. Thank you, Larry. What Laura say? Break it down for his behind. Break it down. All right. Anybody else got any comments or questions you want me to go into? DNA, pen, and paper. I want to thank y'all for joining me. I'm hanging out tonight. You know, I don't get a chance to hang out and just say, hey, what y'all want to hear? But tonight I wanted to take some time to do that. Don't forget that the books are now in. The books, the UNA law book is now in. And I thank you all who have bought the book. I think we have a few more left because we are almost out. Okay, so if you buy them and we run out, we're going to have them on back order. But these are going out this week. And once again, these have, you can get the physical book. You can also get the ebook as well. All right, the ebook is $19.99. This physical book is $29.99. All right, when you go through it, you'll see the hierarchy of laws, the universal law, the maxims of law. Very powerful book this is. All right. You're going to see the vibratory frequency chart is in here. We're dealing with contract writing in here and why it's so important. You're going to get a copy of the hierarchy of laws. All right, this is a laminated copy. It's already in the book, but we want you to have a laminated copy so you can put it up. You're going to get a copy of the universal laws. It's a laminated copy so you can put it up. You're also going to get a laminated copy of the vibratory frequency chart. All right. So we want you to have this. So please, if you want one, go to UNAUniversity.com and go ahead and get that so that we can get those out to you this week. Larry says, keep your frequency high. That's right. Keep the frequency high. And I thank y'all for asking me questions. I really enjoyed talking about the big head scientists. Is there anything else y'all want me to go into concerning history or ancient scripture or molecular structure? Because you got me talking about DNA versus RNA. Like, I know what I'm talking about because I studied this stuff. So I would love to go into that. That's the frequency is high. I'm happy today. Good. I'm glad you're happy. You're making me happy because you're happy. So if y'all want, is there anything else y'all want me to get into? Because I really enjoyed talking about the DNA. You know, I need to do a session on, and I have done sessions before about the molecular structure of men and women and why there's that difference. And, you know, people get upset with me though when I go into that one because some of y'all brothers not ready for what what I have to tell you, but I want you to know I love you. But I have to break it down about who we are on a molecular structure. What is the Y chromosome? What is the X chromosome? How do they come about? When I start talking about the sperm, you know, some of y'all get upset when I tell you that there's no such thing as a male sperm. Oh, y'all get mad. Larry says, hit me with it. I ain't scared. Okay, I'm going to do this one real quick. I'm going to do this one. All right. Spermatogenesis and oogenesis. All right. These are what happens in the male and the female when they get excited. All right. When they get sexually aroused. Spermatogenesis is where there's creation of the sperm. So we break it down. Spermatogenesis. Genesis means creation. O means of. Sperma or spermat. We're talking about sperm. Semen. All right. Creation of semen. Oogenesis or oogenesis. Oogenesis. Genesis. Creation of the ovum. Creation of the ovum. All right. So what's going on when we're talking about oogenesis or spermatogenesis is that there is a creation of these things. So what happens? I really love going into this too. I love talking about the molecular structure. Women, in your ovaries, there are these things that they were fighting over called stem cells or ovaries, ovums inside of your ovaries. These are stem cells. Why are they fighting over them? Because these ovums inside of your ovaries can be anything you want them to be. They can be another toe, they could be another tooth, they could be another arm, they could be a whole nother you when you know how to control that. These ovums inside of your ovaries are stem cells, and they are highly powerful. They have 92 chromosomes inside of them. 92. You don't have, but what they tell you, you got 36, what was it, 20 something coming from your mother, 23 from your mother, and 23 from your father. What is that, 46? These right here, they got 92. They don't tell you that. These are giants. These are sleeping giants inside of you. All right. I need y'all to understand, brothers, you also have ovaries. You have ovaries, and you got the same ovums inside of them that the woman has inside of her. Why? Because you are of the feminine. Some of these brothers are gonna get mad at me. You was originally a girl. Am I lying? No, I'm not. You came from the feminine. And so what happened is that inside of, when you became a male, your insides dropped out. I'm not going into why, but I'm letting you know your ovaries had to drop out, otherwise you're going to be sterile. And your vagina dropped out. They call that a penis. This is an inside-out vagina. Your scrotum are just ovaries that are sitting outside of your vessel. All right? So, in understanding that, again, I'm just telling you about when I just mentioned that there are no male sperm. Because you got to understand that you came from the feminine, and you really are just the feminine inside out. All right? Now, with the eggs that are inside of your ovaries, getting back to spermatogenesis, what's happening is that, y'all look up this term, why am I drawing a blank on it? There's a term that I'm going to tell you what it is in a few minutes, but it's where the sperm are separating. I mean, the egg is separating. It's the same thing that goes on. The same thing that goes on in a woman is the same thing that goes on in a male. All right. So what happens is these ovums, once the male gets excited, these ovums start to separate. Spermatogenesis, oogenesis, they do the same thing. Now, what I need you to understand is all of these eggs have the X chromosome. Everything has all X's. Your sperm, her ovaries, they all got X's. All right? And what happens is when they start to divide, I'm drawing a blank on the term. Why? It's because it's, but there's a term, because it's a simple word. We use it all the time. There's two of them. But basically when that egg starts to divide, all right, they divide into sister cells. I need y'all to look this up. Spermatogenesis. All right. Spermatogenesis. And the term is going to come to me. I use it all the time, but today I want to draw a blank on it. All right. The term is called, I'm going to tell you, because now I feel like I'm being challenged. Now, what is the term? I use it all the time. It's called meiosis. Thank you. Meiosis and mitosis. That's the word. All right. So now, I need y'all to get this. Y'all know mitosis is when the cells divide. So this cell and this cell divides into two. So there'll be this one cell, and then it'll divide into two. Now it's this cell. That's called mitosis. Mitosis. That's the natural division. Mitosis, where you got one cell, and then it divides, and then it becomes two cells. That's mitosis. Meiosis is different in that you got this one cell that has 92 chromosomes in it, and then it divides into two sister cells. It doesn't matter if we're talking about spermatogenesis or oogenesis, they both are sister cells. Now, why are we talking about sperm that divide into two and they called sister? Why they not called brother? Why they not called uncle? No, they called sister because they are both feminine. Feminine. All right? So when we're talking about mitosis, what's the difference, once again, between mitosis and meiosis? All right, mitosis is, once again, where there is a multiplication of the cell. So you got this big cell, once again, and when it wants to divide, it multiplies. It multiplies whatever the content is within here, and then it pinches off and they separate. That's what we call mitosis, when they multiply. Whereas when we're talking about meiosis, that's when these stem cells in here, they've been, and see, I'm not even going to talk about what man has been doing to Mother Nature. I'm not going into it right now, but I'm letting you know that meiosis is considered an unnatural process, whereby you got these big giants inside of you, and they got 92 chromosomes. They don't multiply. What they do is they divide. They divide. Whereby you got 92 chromosomes, it's going to break into half of that. Half of 92 is what? Somebody, say it out loud. 40. What is it? Or is it 96? 96 or 98 chromosomes. Any rate, whatever it is, it's got 90-some chromosomes in it, and it divides into two. And then this big sister cell gets half, and then this other big sister cell gets half. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about spermatogenesis or oogenesis, both of them are called sister cells. Okay. Well, so what then when they call sister cells? That don't mean that they are, okay, hold on. I'm going to go to the next phase. Because once they divide into two, and they got 40-something chromosomes in them, then each one of these are going to divide again into two. So now you got 4 different entities. Now you got 4 different entities. And guess what these 4 different entities are called? Somebody guess. Put it in the comment box. If y'all looked it up already, you know what they are. Go ahead, put it in the comment box. What are these 4 different ones called? What are they called? Because these are sisters. These are sisters up here. What are these 4 down here called? Because now these 4 have 23 chromosomes. Whereas the sister cells have, 46 chromosomes? And then this mother, do y'all know what the main cell is called? It's called a mother cell. It ain't called a daddy cell. It's not called a father cell. It's called a mother cell. Why? Because it has all X's. It's a feminine. So only thing this feminine entity can do is to divide into 2 more feminine entities that are called sister cells. Now, what do y'all think these little ones down here called, where it's 4 of them with 23 chromosomes? What you think they call? Somebody, anybody? They call, anybody? Y'all, they call daughter cells. Daughter. It ain't the son cells. It ain't the nephew cells. They're daughter cells. It goes from the mother to the sister cells to the daughter cells. Why in the ham sandwich are we talking about sperm and we calling them sisters and daughters? What's going on? They all feminine. That's what's going on. Furthermore, if there was a male sperm, it would be fertile, because a male sperm is not, she's gonna kill that. This is why a donkey First of all, a donkey, this is why you can't even create a donkey anywhere in nature, because it's unnatural. That's man tampering with Mother Nature to create a donkey. But this is why a horse can't sleep with a pig, or a horse can't sleep with a crocodile, or a giraffe can't sleep with a chicken and create something, because if the chromosomes are not matched up, the Mother Nature, which is mitochondria, she gonna kill that. She gonna be like, oh, wait a minute. This chromosomes and these chromosomes, these DNA, these contracts do not match, and I am not allowing this in my dimension. She gonna kill that. This is how molecular structure works. So when we start talking about a male sperm, there ain't no male sperm. They all better be feminine, or he can't produce nothing over here in her vessel with a male sperm, because they don't match, and the mitochondria is going to kill that. So everything comes from the feminine. Even him, he is feminine. You are feminine. You are a girl first. Chickens are fake too. Yeah, they're hybrid. They're hybrid. Thank you, Larry. All right, I hope I explained that well enough. I hope y'all mad enough at me so y'all come back to the next one and be mad. You said 1 + 1. Thank you. Mitosis and meiosis. I don't know why I was having a hard time remembering those. But I thank y'all. I had fun hanging out with you tonight. Lauren says you need to go into the consciousness too. What you want me to go into on consciousness? I just did a session in the university where we talked about first, second, and third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth, sixth, and seventh dimension, and how we create in our third dimension by manifesting or manipulating our fifth, sixth, and seventh dimension. So yeah, I went into those. But what do you want to know about consciousness? We'll do it next time. I thank you all for letting me just hang out. I don't get to hang out too often. I was like, time off today. But you said spitting so much facts, and thank you for doing it. Thank you so much, Lawrence, for asking me. And I can't remember, was that you that brought up that about the big head scientist? That was fun. That was fun revisiting that. But yeah, Lawrence says everything. Listen, you're going to be hard pressed to find an original being on this planet. I'm going to tell y'all what, y'all know who our real ancestors are? Our real ancestor that we need to really be tapping into. That's the mitochondria. That's your ancestor right there. And you think because it's the mitochondria is microscopic that it doesn't have intelligence. We're gonna come off of that misnomer, because just because it's microscopic doesn't mean that it's unintelligent, that it can't feel. The mitochondria, this is her universe. This is her universe. Nothing you see, feel, and touch. Let me rephrase that. Anything you see, feel, and touch, whether it's plastic, wood, skin, glass, whatever, it comes through the mitochondria's womb. So you want to get to know who the mitochondria is. And but yeah, I mean, all this information is just, it's fun to talk about it. I appreciate you guys allowing me to get into it. All right, so thank you guys for joining. Don't forget, we got a seminar coming up on, and I want y'all to be there. Go to UNARepublic.com. Don't forget to get the ebook. You can either get the physical version or you can get the ebook. All right, I want y'all to know I love you, and I love you. We're going to see y'all, and I hope y'all will be here.